coherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought?
All right, welcome to the Author Brand Show today. I'm your host, Doug Crow. You're going to want to take notes on this one. We've got a very cool guest today, internationally renowned speaker. She's an author, consultant. She has a couple of decades of experience developing leaders at all levels. And her clients include names you know of, like Cisco Systems, Deloitte, Touche, and Barclays. She's a trusted leadership coach and consultant. Work with hundreds of leaders, one-on-one, thousands more as a group, to fully step into their leadership and create amazing teams that achieve extraordinary results. She's got a Master's of Science in Training Development. That's called an MSTD, with an emphasis on OD, Organizational Development, from Loyola University in Chicago. That's my daughter's alma mater. Very good. She's a certified professional behavioral analyst, certified Tierra International LLC coach, and certified the Myers-Briggs type instrument. Oh my gosh. Hope she doesn't analyze me too much here. But her book is a #1 international bestseller and is titled The Courage of a Leader, How to Inspire, Engage, and Get Extraordinary Results. So welcome to the show today, Amy Riley. Amy, how are you today? Whoop, there we go. There's the camera. Okay, good.
Excellent. I'm doing well, Doug. Thank you for having me here.
You betcha. So why should people listen to us today? I know you've got something to say, but we got to give them a little teaser here.
Yes. Leaders have big jobs. And every time that I have been impressed or inspired by a leader, Doug, it's because I've seen them demonstrating true courage. And I think leadership is much more about our beliefs, our intentions, our willingness to step forward than it is about robotically getting some behaviors exactly right.
Yeah. Courage is a really funny topic. I was reading something about this recently. And it's like, is it a state of being, or is it an action, or is it a thought, or how do you categorize courage in your world?
Oh goodness, I guess we could look at it from all of those angles, right? And I think courage is not the absence of fear.
Right.
Courage is the willingness to step forward in spite of the fear, the doubts, the uncertainty. I don't know if I'm going to say this exactly right. I don't know if this is the right path to take my team on, right? But I know we've got to do something. I know we've got to make a move. So it starts with a commitment and a mindset, and it definitely is translated into action.
Yeah. In your world of working with these big companies alike and medium-sized ones, I'm sure, you probably run across a lot of stories of people who had different levels of adversaries or things they had to be courageous about or for. Can you give us an example of something which might have appeared like really courageous or like difficult to overcome?
Yeah. A sales group in a big organization, and a leader knowing that for a product category, they needed to take it in a totally new direction. It had been a cash cow for that area of the organization for a long, long time, right? People were holding on to it, but it's been good, and we have to keep investing in this. We have to keep going in the same way, right? We've been at the top before, but she knew she needed to make a change before they got to the bottom of the curve, if you will. So I saw her stand in front of her group and say, I know we need to do this. I don't know exactly how we're going to get there, but I know we have the knowledge and the skill in this room. We need each of you to figure this out. It was a great balance, Doug, of saying what she was certain of, yet also saying what she didn't know in the moment. And I saw the faces light up because they knew something was happening. Big message was coming in this meeting. And I saw the faces light up, and she spoke to them. She knew her team. She knew that group, and she got them ready to contribute.
So she not only, showed courage, but sounds like she inspired courage as well to do something new for the whole team, huh?
Yes. Yes. And demonstrated that courage is not knowing all of the stuff that you could possibly know about the initiative or your goals or the results that you're going for. But it can also involve that vulnerability to say, I don't know all the answers here. I don't know exactly how we're going to get down this path, but we're gonna.
How about an example, I love stories, of course. An
Yeah.
example of someone who was like really fearful of something which was ridiculous. Like, are you serious? You shouldn't be afraid of
Ooh.
that.
Ooh, ooh, ooh. I'm thinking about one um organization. There's a perfectionist
There we
culture.
go. That's
And,
a boy. That's got to be a good one there.
yeah, right. And so just the fear of not looking right, not saying it exactly the
Mhm.
right way, kind of
Right.
getting into what I alluded to early on, like the robotics of saying and
Mhm.
doing it exactly right.
Mhm.
And well-intentioned leader, the
Yeah.
person I'm particularly
Right.
thinking of right now, right? And I really had to ground this gentleman in intention, right?
Mm.
What are your intentions? Can you
Mhm.
trust your intentions?
Yeah.
Right? Have that be your source of courage and what's going to ground you and enable you to move forward. You may not say or do it all exactly right. We can't play that game.
Mhm.
We're not going to win that game. Yet, what do you want to have happen? What do you want to have happen for everybody in the room? Right?
Yeah.
You've got good intentions here.
It seems to me, and correct me if I'm wrong, or give me maybe more examples of this, but like anybody in a leadership position, let's just call it a CEO of a mid-cap company, because those are a lot of our clients. Is the
Okay.
guys who are on a company that does 10 million to $1 billion. Um, I don't see them as not lacking courage because they've had the courage to step out on their own, maybe even borrow money or put their mortgage their house to start their business. I don't see them as lacking courage, but you see a lot of it. So I want to find out where that hidden layer is. Like, and more
Hmm.
maybe because you're working with the bigger companies, you're talking to mid-level people or CEOs or everybody.
I work with leaders at all levels, right?
Okay.
So, yeah, we do see the CEOs who are willing to stand up and say, I'm taking
Yeah.
my organization in this direction, right? And making these
Yeah.
bold
Right.
moves.
Yeah.
Do they have the courage to ask for help?
There you
Right? Do
go.
they have the courage to take time off and set
Yeah.
boundaries, right? Do they have the like how are they sustaining themselves and those around them for the long term? And even if like if someone is able to keep accessing that courage,
Yep.
then that takes something from someone
Mhm.
to be able to do that.
Right.
How do you refuel? How do you take care of yourself? How do you make sure that that courage is there
Yeah.
when you're really going to need it the next time?
The courage to ask for help. That one I smiled at right away because I'm thinking of the people that I know who are like, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and take on the world or disrupt an industry or something, but courage to ask for help. How does it? How do they come into your world now? Because if you guys are thinking they're and I say guys, gals, whatever,
Yeah,
they
yeah.
think they're already pretty courageous. How do they come into your world saying, well, you might be courageous in this area, but you might want to apply that courage somewhere else, or how do you deal with them?
Yes, yes.
You're not going to
Clients
call
come
them a coward. In other words, you got to,
yeah.
slightly. Hey, by the way,
Yes, yes. So my clients, my prospective clients know that I develop leaders
Mhm,
to be able to inspire, engage,
right?
and get the results that they want. So
Mhm.
sometimes that top leader is coming to me and saying, my leadership group is not doing all that they
I know
could
where this
do.
is going. Yeah, keep going.
Right?
Yeah.
Which
Mhm.
might be very true. I mean,
Yeah.
leadership development, how we're doing and being and thinking as a leader,
Yeah.
this is a work in progress
Yeah.
for all of us.
Mhm.
Right. So they might bring me into let's talk about the team and then, how are the dynamics with you? And then
Yeah.
we start exploring.
And you talk to the team and go, yeah, well, this guy's blah blah blah. He goes, well, he doesn't have the courage to empower you or whatever it is, right? Yes. Yeah. Nice.
Yes.
Okay. That's I was guessing that. I have a bunch of clients who are Vistage chairs, and
Yeah.
they work at the same demographic, right? The guys and gals who have these in mid cap privately held firms, and they do group dynamics once a month, talk about their issues and work on their business growth or exits, whatever it is. But
Yeah.
without fail, every single one of them, when they tell me they have their one-on-ones with their people, it's always talking about their personal life. And that seems to be not talked about in business circles, but privately, that's where they lack a lot of balance skills,
Oh,
nurturing things like that. To say, how do I, deal with my son, my divorce, my self-esteem, my fears? When you work with your
yes.
clients, obviously it's organizational development, but on the one-on-ones, does it ever get like personal stuff as well on their courage?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes. In
Yeah.
coaching, well, because we bring our whole self to work.
Right.
And this is becoming more and more evident,
Mhm.
right? As many people in many industries are working from home, and it's all integrated even throughout
Mhm.
our 8 a.m. to 5
Right.
p.m. Yeah. And you know, team members are really going to go the extra mile for you if
Mhm.
you've got a true connection with
Yeah.
that person.
Yeah. Sure.
They respect you,
Mhm.
they understand and have had a say in the vision.
Yeah.
And if we're going to connect with the whole person and help them be healthy at home so they can be healthy at work and
Yeah.
all aspects of life, yeah, sometimes that's where the courage comes in, right? The folks who are really able to be bold in the marketplace. But are you
Yeah.
able to be bold when you're
That's
one-on-one in a video format
right.
looking at
Mm,
someone,
that's right.
right? And
Yeah.
someone's telling you about something that's tough in their life and just
Mhm.
being with that emotion and offering
Yeah.
whatever support that they can from their
Yeah.
position.
So this might be a pretty simplistic question, but if you can go deeper if you want.
Okay.
Do you have any like tools or tips for people if they got past that recognition phase, right? I reckon, you know what, I'm probably a little bit fearful of this one element. Maybe let's just say it's talking to my firing somebody or telling somebody we're going to change direction of the company. Do you have any tips or specific things you help them like a pathway or a process or anything? Or is it customized?
Yes. Yeah. There's actually a chapter
There we
in the
go.
book, The Courage
Hold
of
that
a
book up,
Leader.
Amy. Come on, we're about books here.
Oh,
There
oh,
we
oh, oh.
go. The Courage of a Leader. How to inspire, engage, and get extraordinary results. There you go. Okay, beautiful.
Yes. Let me get the exact chapter title. And
Yeah.
Doug, this can be an offer for all of the listeners.
That's
If they
right.
just,
We'll give away free stuff here. We love it. Go.
we'll give away a free chapter. If you give me an email at amy@courageofaleader.com,
Mhm.
reference your show, Doug, and
Mhm.
tell me to send over the chapter, then I'll send over this chapter.
All
It
right.
is called Inspire Others to Get 100% on Board with You.
Okay.
Inspire others to get 100% on board with you. And it talks about neuroscience,
I
actually.
love
And when we
neuroscience.
right, I'm not a neuroscientist, but
Yeah,
I'm
no, but
so fascinated.
we've done a dozen books on it, so I love it. Yeah. So yeah,
Oh,
I'll say,
excellent.
let's take a merger and acquisition story here. I'll just make one up. All right.
Okay.
This company's coming in, they're buying us up. I've got this company I'm acquiring that's 80 years old. I've got entrenched leadership. The new company, the tech company, they're going to come in and they're going to reshape the whole company to a tech company. Okay. So like, who's this guy going to come in here and tell us how to make ice cream when we've been doing it for 80 years,
Yes.
So how do you inspire the old guard to come on to the new economy? There you go. There's a scenario.
Yes. Right. So, first of all, what would be happening in the brains of
Mhm.
these two
Yeah.
companies that are merging, right, is they feel under threat.
Yeah.
Their amygdala is scanning for threat. It's a
Yep.
psychological threat,
Mhm.
but our body treats it like a physical threat.
Yep.
So it's fight, flight, or freeze,
Mhm.
right? And we feel like we're under attack, and our
Yeah.
body is reacting that way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Instead, we want to release different chemicals in the brain.
Okay.
Serotonin is often called the leadership chemical,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
Because if we do something for another, if we coach them, if we get an obstacle out of their way, if we sit down with someone who is in a company and the merger was just announced, and we say, here's what we know, here's what we don't know yet, here's the timeline. I'm here. I'm going to let you know what I know, whenever I can. Come to me with your questions, right? And we're connecting.
Yeah.
Another person feels that and is asking their questions, and I'm giving them as much information as we can. It's a leadership moment.
Yeah.
Serotonin is being released.
Mm-hmm.
And serotonin has more of a long-lasting impact. You'll know this from your neuroscience books, right?
Mm-hmm.
Than a hit of dopamine.
Yeah. Right.
It's longer term, right?
Right.
Oxytocin is the chemical that's released when there's connection. So
Mm-hmm.
when we take the time to sit down and say, okay, there's this merger, concerns and fears and doubts and unknowns come with this. What are yours? I want to hear them, right? I want to help us work through them. Now we're connecting.
Nice. So
And
basically,
truly,
what we can do is we got to turn that saber-toothed tiger into a mastodon. That fear of change or whatever. So no. We're going to sit down and have a meal here. Here, have a bite of this, right?
let's lean into it.
Yeah.
Right. And so many leaders are afraid to lean into that, to go and proactively have the conversations. Because what if they ask me something I don't know what to say? We haven't
Yeah.
worked out that yet. I won't know what to say if they ask this or that.
Right.
Yeah, we got to lean into it, and we got to say what we know when we can.
Yeah.
Right. I know there's the confidential information and plans that can be in play,
Yeah.
but if we shy away from that, they're going to make up worse stories than the reality.
Absolutely. Yeah. They're going to have their own stories in their mind that aren't going to necessarily be true or even relevant. Right. I totally see that.
I'm
I have
sure.
just a general question for you on the whole
Yeah.
leadership thing, because it's the number one topic for every single speaker and business book out there about leadership. How come we haven't figured it out by now?
Oh, because leaders deal with people and
Yeah.
people are nuanced and
Yeah.
complex and leaders, there's so much coming at a leader. I mean,
Mhm.
Doug, I coach and consult with so many leaders, and they are the only ones who know everything that they're dealing with, right? They're working with the team, they're collaborating with peers, they're managing up, they're managing out. There's different stakeholders to think about. They have to
Yeah.
do their due diligence of how am I going to share this message that
Yeah.
I've been told I need to share now.
Mhm.
If they're doing right by their people, there's a lot of due diligence going on there. And it's a lot of work, and you get it figured out. And parents know you get it figured out with the eldest child, and then you go to follow that same approach with the second one, and it fails
Yeah.
miserably.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. That's where the Myers-Briggs stuff comes into play, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Is a mirror matching, or what at what point does the here's a good question for you. When it comes to leadership and studying personalities and dealing with different people in different ways and different language patterns and all the neuro-linguistic crap stuff, how much of that is persuasion versus just good old-fashioned necessary stuff to do? I mean, the word persuasion sometimes is seen as a manipulative.
Yeah. Well, it starts with self-awareness, right? Knowing our own preferences, knowing how we tend to approach things, and knowing the strengths and the potential pitfalls of that, right? If you know that you are task-focused and you're a very direct communicator, right? That's great in a lot of scenarios. People might be able to trust that you're going to, give it to them straight.
Mm-hmm.
And there may be folks who have a different preference of let's get related, let's connect before we talk about the report you need today or whatever it might be.
Yeah.
Right. So knowing our preferences, knowing the other preferences that exist out there, and then how can we take a step towards the other person's preference so that they have more of a chance of hearing us, relating to us, engaging in the interaction in the way that we want them to.
Okay, so we know there's different leadership styles, right? There's the, Steve Jobs, everybody hates him, but he's a genius. And then there's the collaborative one you just discussed. Is there a right and wrong method, or is just whatever works for the person?
I am a believer in strengths-based leadership.
Okay.
Right. So, I mean, if I'm naturally a quiet person and I'm thoughtful and I'm strategic, right, then I don't want this person to try to be the charismatic leader that's, on stage and doing that. I mean, don't try to be who we're not. Instead, lean into our strengths, what works. And, I think we're starting to learn in the mainstream marketplace that leaders look and feel and talk different ways.
Yeah.
And effective leadership does have different kinds of faces and styles.
Outstanding. I love it. Okay. The book is called The Courage of a Leader. Hold that cover up again.
Where did I put it, Doug?
Look, oh no. Okay. There we go. That's the book. And the chapter they're going to get is what are they going to get out of that chapter? The freebie here.
Yes. How to get employees on board with you. How do you tap into their heads? How do you tap into their hearts? It has to do with messaging and clear vision, and also has to do with truly connecting in meaningful ways. And there's examples of how to connect in those ways.
It's at courageofaleader.com. Check it out. Amy, any final words of wisdom for the future leaders of America out there?
You are all leaders. Work to be a leader your way. Lean into your style. And know what the purpose of your leadership is. Like, what are you trying to bring? I call the leadership legacy. What are you trying to bring to every interaction, every relationship, every project that you're a part of? Is it innovation? Is it transparency? Is it teamwork? Is it technical know-how? What is it?
Great. Okay. Very good. Check it out, folks. courageofaleader.com. Check it out. Amy, thanks so much for being on the show today. Appreciate you. And we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you, Doug.
You bet. All right. Courage of a Leader. Check it out, folks. Great book. Some good advice there. You definitely need it. There's always something to learn. And that's why we do this show. Have a good one, and we'll see you next time.